The story begins on what looks like a completely ordinary morning. The streets are calm, people are heading to work, and everything seems perfectly normal. But just when everyone thinks it will be another simple day, something strange quietly happens. All the logic in the world suddenly disappears. No one notices it at first. But within moments, subtle and bizarre changes begin to appear everywhere. With the disappearance of logic, even the streets fall into complete disorder. Traffic lights flash all colors at once, leaving drivers unsure whether to stop or move. Cars swerve in every direction, cyclists dodge pedestrians, and no one seems to follow any rules. Without logical thinking, the simple act of driving becomes a dangerous guessing game. Inside the classroom, the collapse of logic becomes even more obvious. Students wander aimlessly, ignoring instructions and acting without purpose. Books are scattered, lessons make no sense, and even the teacher struggles to restore order. Without logical reasoning, learning becomes impossible, and the classroom turns into pure confusion. So next, let's take a look at logic together.
In today's fast and complex world, logic is more than just an old subject from philosophy. It is the tool that helps us think clearly, make fair choices, and solve problems in daily life. Logic gives structure to our thoughts and language. It teaches us to find truth, understand evidence, and make decisions based on reason rather than emotion. This video explores how logic connects education, business, technology, communication, and culture, and why logical thinking is essential for both human progress and artificial intelligence. Logic is a system of reasoning that helps us separate what makes sense from what does not. It gives us methods to check our thoughts, test arguments, and find mistakes. A logical person looks for proof, not just belief. In the past, logic was seen as a skill for philosophers and scientists. But today, everyone uses it, from students writing essays to companies making database plans. In modern society, logic supports clear communication, innovation, and fairness. It builds the foundation for progress in both knowledge and technology. In education, logic trains the mind to think critically. Students learn not only to collect facts, but also to connect them meaningfully. When they use logic, they can tell the difference between evidence and opinion, between cause and coincidence. For example, when writing a paper, students must organize their points step by step and support each idea with reason. Logical thinking also improves focus and confidence. It helps students become independent learners who can question information instead of memorizing it blindly. Developing logical reasoning is one of the best ways to prepare young people for a changing world. In the world of business, logic helps leaders make fair and strategic decisions. Managers often deal with complex issues such as competition, finance, and teamwork. Without logical thinking, decisions can easily be influenced by emotion or personal opinion. Using logic means studying facts before taking action. It builds trust inside teams and improves communication between departments. When decisions are made based on reason and data, employees understand and follow them more willingly. Logical management reduces risk, increases efficiency, and helps businesses grow in a healthy and sustainable way. Modern technology is deeply built on logic. Computers work through logical steps called algorithms, which tell them what to do when certain conditions are met. Every if-then rule is a piece of logic that allows a machine to make a choice. Artificial intelligence, too, uses logical systems to process data, find patterns, and predict outcomes. Logic gives AI structure, reliability, and explainability. Even as AI grows more complex, it still depends on logical programming to make sense of information.
Without logical order, machines will make random or unreliable decisions. That is why logic is often called the language of computers. It connects human reasoning with machine intelligence, creating a bridge between natural and artificial thought. Humans are not purely logical beings. Our choices are often shaped by emotions such as fear, desire, or sympathy. Logic helps balance these emotions, allowing us to make wiser decisions. When we stop and think logically, we gain control over impulsive reactions. A good decision often includes both logic and emotion. Logic brings order and emotion brings empathy. Together, they make actions fair and humane. This balance is also what separates human intelligence from artificial intelligence. Humans can care, while machines can only calculate. Logic is also essential for effective communication. Every day we express ideas, write messages, and discuss opinions. Logic helps us organize these ideas so that others can understand us clearly. For example, joining thoughts in a logical order, like saying, "It is sunny and hot today," makes our message simple and complete. In discussions or debates, logical communication reduces conflict and misunderstanding. It helps people from different backgrounds find common ground through reason, not emotion. In short, logic makes our speech clearer and our relationship stronger. Even logical thinkers can fall into bias. Human brains often use shortcuts called heuristics to make quick judgments. These shortcuts save time but can lead to errors. For example, people may believe something is true just because they hear it often, or because someone they like said it. Logic helps correct these errors by encouraging us to ask, what is the evidence? By practicing logical reasoning, we can resist manipulation, make fairer decisions, and become more open-minded. It is a skill that helps us stay objective in a world full of information and misinformation. Logic may seem universal, but culture shapes how people use it. Western societies often focus on analytical thinking, breaking problems into smaller parts and testing ideas step by step. Eastern cultures, on the other hand, value holistic reasoning, seeing things as connected and context-dependent. Both ways of thinking are valuable. Analytical logic promotes precision and clarity, while holistic logic promotes harmony and understanding. Recognizing these differences can help us communicate better in international contexts. It also teaches us that logic is not about strict rules, but about finding meaning within different perspectives. As technology continues to advance, logic faces new challenges. Machines can now imitate reasoning and even generate ideas, but they still lack emotional understanding and ethical judgment. The future of logic will not only depend on how machines think, but also on how humans teach them to think responsibly. We need to combine logical precision with human values, such as empathy and fairness. At the same time, schools and universities must continue to teach logical reasoning as a life skill. Logic helps students not only in exams, but also in making ethical and creative decisions in real life. Logic is a foundation of clear thought and fair action. It connects education, business, technology, communication, and culture. Logic helps people think calmly, make decisions carefully, and solve problems wisely. It gives machines the ability to reason, and it gives humans the ability to understand. In a world full of complexity and change, logic is our guide to truth. But logic works best when it walks hand in hand with empathy and humanity. Together, they can create a smarter, fairer, and more caring society, one where reason and understanding shape the future. In today's fast-changing world, logic is very important. Logic is not just a subject of philosophy. It is a tool that helps us think clearly, solve problems, and make fair decisions. It teaches us to look for evidence, not just rely on feelings or beliefs. In education, logic helps students analyze information instead of just memorizing facts. They can distinguish between evidence and opinion, cause and coincidence, and organize their ideas better.